My name's Scott Gillespie. I started Rocky Mountain Big Game Recovery back in 2018. It was just me and Lucy. At the time in Colorado, you could use a leash tracking dog to recover big game animals legally. The law said it started in 2015. We started in 2018. When I started, there's a group out there called United Blood Trackers, and it's a nationwide thing. And you can go on their website, and at the top of the page it says Find a Tracker. You can click on it, and it gives you a list. It gives you a map of the United States. In any state, I don't care if you're in Kansas, Missouri, Colorado, Utah, you can click on there, and everybody that's a United Blood Tracker member that has a dog, they'll give you their phone number, and you can call them and see if they can come out and help you find your animal if you can't find it. That's what we're here about. I started that in 2018. My first year, I got 12 phone calls. We did, I think, every call I got. I tried to go because to get a good dog going, you got to run them on as many tracks as you can. It's not like your bird dogs, you know, and it's a dog sport, but when you're running bird dogs, you know, you just go out and shoot 3 or 4 pheasants every day and you get to work your dogs. Well, we don't have the option to go out and shoot 3 or 4 deer every day and run your dogs. So you need to be out there and be tracking for other hunters, people we don't even know. 2018, I got 12 phone calls on United Blood Trackers. Every year I'd get a few more. Last September alone, I got 300 phone calls. Okay. But the good thing is, 3 years ago, we started Rocky Mountain Big Game Recovery. People would get a hold of me on our Facebook page for me and Lucy and say, hey, can I do that? And we'd help them get a dog going. Today there's 60 tracking teams in the network. So if you were to call me, say I shot an elk in Leadville, if I can't make it, I will do everything I can to possibly find you a tracker. And what we do is we all communicate during hunting season, okay? Through WhatsApp on our cell phones. People will come onto the Facebook page and say, I need help in Leadville. We got 7 admins on the Facebook page. We do not let those go to the public, okay? We intercept them and then we call that person. And we don't want, we get people that are fishing on our Facebook page, non-hunters, okay? We don't want to get hunting a black eye, saying, look at all these animals, these guys are wounded, they're not being able to find. So we're keeping it hush-hush to that extent. So anyway, that's how it goes. So what we're going to do real quick here is we set, and we have to practice, just like everybody's here practicing for hunting season, shooting their bows. This time of year, getting close to September, we're running practice tracks with our dogs. So we're laying fake bloodlines. We can only, you know, there's only so much you can do in a fake bloodline. We do as best as we can to get the dog ready. Nothing beats the real McCoy, the real trap. That's where the dog shines. Okay. Anyway, we laid a mock track up here. It's a whitetail track. It's pretty easy. It gets in. We're in the timber, but we don't get very steep. Okay. So let's all walk over there, and I'll kind of show you how this works.
Yeah. Yep. Will you do? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Weston didn't get one.
Weston, you didn't get one?
They're getting a few more tickets and then they'll be here.
We'll kind of wait here a little bit. I'll talk about it a little bit. But guys call me. I get a lot of phone calls. All of us get phone calls, and there are people we don't even know. So there's about 50 questions I'll ask a guy before I decide whether we're going to take the track. Being in Colorado, the first question I ask is, where are you? Because we're getting calls out of 8 states, and guys will say, I'm in Coal Creek. Well, every state has a Coal Creek, so I need to know what state, what unit you're in. The second question is, how close can we get a vehicle to the hit site? We talked about that yesterday. The closer I can get a vehicle to the hit site, the less work it is. But I have done tracks where I've hiked in 2.5, 3 miles. We got guys like Andrew. I know he's gone
We did one of mine last year.
He's gone in 7, 8 miles. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. Anyway, I love it when guys say, I'm walking back to camp. I was walking down the fire road and an elk stepped out, and I know I can get my 4-wheeler or my pickup within 50 yards of the hit site, because that's where we start the dog. Okay? Anyway, I interviewed this hunter. He had shot a whitetail last night, and he couldn't find any blood after he took the shot. All he knew is he hit it, okay? So what happened is he was over here. We'll let everybody kind of put her over here a little bit. Lucy's my dog, but Liz is going to handle her, okay? Kind of stay away from right here. Anyway, what we got here is this guy was whitetail hunting, and he had a tree stand in that really weak aspen tree right there. And a whitetail buck came through here and stopped and gave him a shot. And he knows he hit it, but he couldn't find any blood after this spot. So the first thing we do is I come in and let's keep the dog back and let's investigate the hit site. Sometimes you got to consider, it's almost, even though we're tracking a big game animal, we kind of treat this like forensic or like a crime scene. Okay, what actually happened? So, okay, yeah, you. What do you see here? What do you think happened? Okay. Fur? Okay, go ahead. Okay. All we know is this deer's been hit. We got blood and we got hair here at the hit site. All right? So we don't know any more than that, except our cameraman's walking up and down the line. Anyway, now that I know where the hit site is, and sometimes I have no idea where the hit site is, because I do rifle calls, and guys will call me and it's a 500-yard shot, and it was on that ridge over there, and it's like, we're going to go over there and see if we can start the dog, okay? I love tracking for bow hunters. They're so close proximity. They usually know where they hit them. I'd really like to have the arrow, but this deer took off with the arrow, so we'd have no idea what happened, okay? Lucy's ready to go. She knows what happened.
She knows what happened. She knows what happened. If you let me go, I'll tell you.
Let the blade slide through your hands. Come here, Lucy. Come here.
Yeah, I know.
That's your deer. Go get it. Everybody has a different command for their dog. I just told Lucy there's a deer, let's go get him. Sometimes I'll tell her there's an elk, let's go get him. But what we do is, in Colorado law, or all the western states, you got to be on lead, okay?
Oh, there's a
Okay, you
fence.
guys be careful. There's a fence laying down up here, so don't trip on it, okay? What I usually do is keep the hunter behind me, and I'm watching the dog, and what the dog's telling me, I ask the hunter, watch for blood, so we want confirmation we're on the right line. Everybody come on up here. We'll get as close as you can.
Oh, on the, yeah.
Okay, this deer took off with the arrow, and now we got the arrow. Okay? This is a good thing. Now we can look at the arrow, and we can see what kind of evidence we have on the arrow where this deer was possibly hit. pick up this arrow and I'm like, oh no. What does it look like it hit?
Stomach.
What?
Stomach.
Does that look like gut shot? Yeah. Looks like stomach matter. You know how you can tell if it's stomach matter? You can taste it. As a really good tracker, I'll taste it. It's gut matter. It's hot dog relish. Anyway, we know the deer was hit in the guts. Let's say we came in here at the 4-hour mark and I find the arrow and it's only been 4 hours since this deer was hit. We're going to back out and probably wait till the next day to track it. This deer is going to die, but it could take a while for him to die on a gut shot, okay? Worst thing you can do is get them up out of their bed, all right? So, anyway, Lucy's going to keep on taking us here.
Oh my god. I never knew it was going to be a leader dog. I thought it was going to be like a big bird.
The big bloodhound.
I thought it was going to be like the Great Danes and the Bloodhounds, because Great Danes could just like...
It's incredible watching the dog work.
She's the queen. Especially
Yeah,
the leader
if you see blood, go ahead and mark it out. We know we're on the right line.
blood. Oh yeah, you can watch her on powder. On that log.
Definitely got a better nose than you do.
I don't understand this one thing. We can send people up to Mars and know what's happening up there, but we can't freaking get internet.
Everybody come on up here. Just kind of stand around right here.
I can get down.
Yep. This log doesn't give us a good example of it, but it does give us two different things, okay? You can see this deer came across this log, and this is exactly where Lucy crossed, okay? And we got blood on this log. And we get this phone call a lot, because see this right here? You know what that is? I laid this line yesterday, out before it rained. That is blood from yesterday, okay? So guys will take a shot, they'll hit an animal, and it just starts happening what happened last night. It starts downpouring, okay? Now they can't see the blood. Blood doesn't mean anything to our tracking dogs. They're going off a scent profile. Even though we can't see the blood, the smell of the blood is still there, all right? So we get a lot of calls because of rain and smell. All right.
Yeah. She's like, hurry up.
Low profile.
Stay behind Lynn.
That's what that leash was made out of. So that it
Andy, you know him?
slides.
You meet him? He lives in Missouri. Oh, okay. And he's got a beagle. It's like a terrier beagle. Okay. It's not a wiener. I don't remember who I should talk to. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I got it.
Okay, you guys can get up here and you can see. What's that? Flag. Okay, you want to stop right here. Okay, everybody come on up here if you can. Okay, don't stand right there. Stand off to the side. Yeah, good one.
Who said that? Nice job, Finn.
Okay, here we have our first wound bed. This deer laid down right here, okay? what does this wound bed tell us here? If you look at it enough, does it tell us anything? What do you think? Yep, he's in pain. He doesn't have the arrow in him, so he laid down. And that's another thing we find out if they're carrying the arrow. A lot of times on elk, they will not bed. They'll go out to a certain distance and they'll just stand there. It's too painful for them to lay down with the broadhead in them. Does this tell us anything else? Yep, he's still bleeding. There's hair in the wound bed. There's blood right here. There's blood right there. And there's blood up here. Does that tell us anything?
The way he went.
Kinda.
Still bleeding.
Oh yeah, blood on the
We'll see this every once in a while, and this is usually.
Oh.
And go ahead.
Maybe he was rubbing against something, trying to scratch the pain off.
That could be possible.
Did the air go through?
Perfect. We got a pass through on this deer, and he bedded here, and he was bleeding out both sides. Okay. What else was he doing?
coughing up blood.
Exactly. Okay. And we'll get this call. We don't see this much on a real track, but he was losing a lot of blood. I look at a bed like this and I'm like, we got a dead deer in front of us. He's bleeding out both sides. He's bleeding out of his mouth. Go ahead.
That means it pierced the lung.
Possibly, but we know it hit the stomach because he had gut matter on it, okay? But we know it is a bad enough wound that he's coughing up blood up here. All right? So, different clues that you'll see on a line, okay? And you guys can use this information even if there isn't a dog, because it's gonna, if you hunt enough, you're gonna be in this predicament. Okay, Lucy wants to go. She's like, come on, guys.
Just let me show you.
Yeah.
Just let me show you where it is.
It's
I
like
know
you're
where it is.
making it more complicated.
Right there. Everybody stand right up here. Not everybody has to come up on the road. The rest of you can come right up here and just stand right here. Okay, you can stand right there. What do you see on the ground? What do you see for sign right here, though, this deer?
There's some blood going up right here.
Okay, do you see anything else? Does anybody see anything else?
Blood on the
There's all kinds of sign right here.
Yeah, there's all kinds of blood going this way.
Uh-huh.
A trail?
There's blood on the trees.
Where?
Going up.
Yep, there's blood there. Where else is there blood?
Up high.
Way up in the air.
Oh.
So when you guys are doing a real blood track, don't be looking just on the ground. You got to open up your mind and start to think. This deer came in here and coughed blood up, clear up in the tree. When we have our tracking seminars, we do a thing called hit site analysis, and we take a roadkill deer and we hang it with meat hooks like it's standing up, and we lay plastic on the ground under it and up trees about 15 feet. And we take the crowd out about 30 feet and we shoot that deer in several places with like a 308. And you will take a shot with a high power rifle right through the lungs. And then everybody walks up and looks at what evidence we got there. There's hair 15 feet in the air on a rifle shot. So when we bring a dog in and we ask them, hey, what happened here? We're thinking, well, right here's blood. Dog, go. Well, that dog comes in here and smells this huge scent pool of chaos. And sometimes it takes a dog 20 minutes to figure it out before it'll go down the line. All right? Okay. Those places are going to take us from here.
What if you find one that's alive?
Is this illegal? I would say, and this does happen, we do jump live animals. And if they get up or they can't run off, but they're in pain, and they just take a few steps and lay down, I'll pull the dog back, I'll get the hunter in front of us and see if we can't make a kill shot on the animal at that time. At that point, I would not care about 50-foot rule on a road. We got to put this animal down. All right?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, like you come up here, and if this blood trail went back around, did we ever get back on the original trail and go back the way?
Oh, hell yeah, they'll backtrack. Oh, yeah. We run into that all the time. It's the backtracks. That's why I tell guys, too, if they're on a blood trail and they like, it just quit. There's no more blood will follow us. We need a dog. A lot of times they'll come out on a point and they'll turn around and they'll walk back the way they came. All right? Take her off to the right. Take her off to the right. Believe it or not, they do. Yes. Elk and mule deer a lot of times they go. And the reason is they want to take the high ground. Okay? When it comes to us walking up and down hills, it's like, oh shit, I don't want to walk up that mountain. A mountain ain't nothing to an elk.
Yeah.
Okay? They'll run right up it. I don't care how wounded they are.
About how the animals behave, but how the dogs behave. Sorry, the elk behave.
Okay, right there, what you got? Okay, we ended up pretty close. I had a wound bed right here. Okay, here's our second wound bed. When I start finding wound beds this close together on a rail line, I'm like, this is happening. And I want my hunter to start looking out in front of us. One thing I do, I always tell them, if you see your animal, don't take off running for it and grab the horse, okay? Because we've come this far, it's Lucy's. And when she sees that animal and the guy's on top of it already, she will attack. Oh. All right, because it's hers. So usually I'll keep the hunter back for about 5 minutes, let the dog play with the deer for 5 minutes, and then we'll go up and take pictures. I always keep her on the rear end, and she will pull all the hair out of her rear quarter. Okay? She really doesn't care about that one because it's fake. But that is our track. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I have a couple questions.
Yep.
Other than her getting to have at the animal that she's tracking when she finds it, what is her reward?
On a live animal like this, a lot of times we'll stick back for a little bit. We'll go ahead and gut the animal, or if they're going to flay it out, we'll cut off a couple chunks of meat and we'll give her meat as a reward. If we're going to gut it out, the best thing is she loves deer liver. So we'll cut off chunks of deer liver and let her eat on that. I have done tracks where we're so far in the back country, we're past dinner time. I ain't gonna get her home for another 6 hours. We've cut up elk, and I just let her go, and she'll get right in the carcass and just go to town and just start eating, and just let her eat as much as she can before we walk out. But that's her reward. So,
I got a question.
yep.
What are the differences, if any, between the dog tracking like a white-tailed deer in Kansas versus an elk in Colorado? Is one more successful than other, and why?
If you ask any tracker, and there's a lot, and I got friends all over the country that do this, if you ask any tracker and they are honest with you, everybody across the board with a good tracking dog is going to tell you 40%. And I don't care if you're tracking whitetail, mule deer, elk, it doesn't matter. It's 40%.
Success rate?
40%.
Recovery, yeah.
So what we've taken is, when the guy calls us, usually their success rate right now is really close to 0. If we can get a good tracking dog in there, we just took his 0 to 40%.
Yeah.
Why is it only 40%? Non-lethal hits. Okay?
Still alive.
He's still alive, and we are not going to catch an elk or a deer that's still on his legs, unless he's hurting that bad, just like this scenario. where he can't get up and go very far, then we'll get him. But if he comes out of his bed doing Mach 2, maybe come back the next day and see if we can continue the line. But if it's not a fatal wound, we're not going to catch him. Now, southern states and eastern states, the Carolinas, Florida, Texas, they run off lead. We cannot run off lead in the state of Colorado or Wyoming. What does an off lead dog do for you? They're usually running 2 or 3 dogs, and they get, their success rate is like 85 to 90%. And the reason is, if they never walk up on a live deer, the dogs kill them. Now you've taken fair chase out of the equation. They're getting their deer, but they'll go on calls where a guy hit them in the foot, and they'll get them. And I got buddies that do it, and they're addicted to it. And all they do is, it's like running lions. Here, they're looking at their GPS, their 225 collars on their handheld. They're watching their dogs, and they'll start baying just like they would on a mountain lion. And by the time they get there, the deer is dead.
And we do have, sorry, I was just gonna say, we do have different obstacles and challenges versus the South. Like our Midwest, they have a lot of private land, small private land, so they may have like a property line that they can't cross that ends their track. We deal with a lot more terrain type situations, whereas they're flat cornfield. So there's a lot of differences that way.
You get back and ask the question, and that leaves 60% are non-success. It's non-fatal hits. The next big one is private property lines. We hit a barbed wire fence and we can't continue the line. That doesn't happen as much in Colorado, but it does happen. I had a couple last year. Just out in the middle, I was like, damn, there's a barbed wire fence, and pull out Onyx, and it's so-and-so. Hell, I called the local game warden, and the first one we did, we actually got permission to go. But it took 2 hours. The dog was kind of like, oh, screw this after that, you know, but it does happen.
So the question I was asking kind of was like, is there a difference between the glands that are sent on a deer versus an elk?
Yes.
That's what Andrew told me, and I think that was extremely important. That I
On whitetail and mule deer and moose, your axis deer, your roe deer, they have an interdigital gland in the clove of their hoof. And the dog, what we're doing is get the dog locked onto that individual hoof smell. That's why we have those tracking shoes at our booth. Elk is the only deer species that does not have an interdigital gland. Okay?
So you shoot a whitetail and it runs into a herd of 100 whitetail, and then 100 whitetails split off into 100 different directions.
That dog can lock on that whitetail.
Which is mind-blowing.
Which is really tough to do, because elk, the problem with elk is they are a herding animal. And they will get back into the herd. Now, can we pull it out? Yes, and it's a lot easier to pull them out if they're bulls than if they're cows. Because elk don't have as many glands as mule deer and whitetail, but what do they have? They pee all over themselves. And it runs down their legs, it hits they do have metatarsal glands, it runs down into their hooves, and that's how individual cows can identify individual bulls because of the urine smell that bull's leaving as he's walking around. So if the elk can pick out an individual animal, the dog can pick out an individual animal, because there are three species of animals that have a better sense of smell than a dog. Does anybody know what the first one is?
Bear.
Bear's number 3.
Wolf.
Shark. Oh, wolf. Who said wolf?
Shark is number 2. There's one even that's number 1. The elephant. So when it comes to deer and elk, they're number 11 on the list. We got dog down here at number 4. So the dog can pick out an individual animal, because the elk can do it, the dog can do it through the smell.
So then this might lead into the question I had earlier. I was thinking earlier, dragging this long lead through everything. So if the dog, you know, the lead goes through that blood trail as they're tracking, do you have to throw away the lead?
Oh, no.
Just give it a wipe and you're good to
No.
go?
You mean like if it has blood on it and then I go do another track?
Yeah. Does
No,
it interfere
there's
with...
2 different set
Okay, the profiles are.
Yeah, the
profiles.
scent will dissipate after a while and wear off, you
Just
know, in
like
time.
We came up here to this one point, and I told Liz, I said, pull her back up here, because I laid a line on the same one yesterday. And I got up to this point, and I went the wrong way. And I went about 10 or 15 feet, and I went back. She was running the line I laid this today, not the one I did yesterday. You see what I'm saying? So even though there was two bloodlines on top of each other, she was following the fresh one.
Okay.
Not the one from yesterday. And we do a lot. And that track is 20, the one from yesterday is 24 hours. I have found elk at the 72-hour mark. So it's 3 days after the shot.
And one of the things you can do too as a hunter is if you do think you're going to call in a tracking dog team, try not to grid search the area. I mean, obviously we want you to put every effort in to find your own animal, but if you really think you're going to bring a dog team in, what happens is as you're looking, you're stepping in that blood trail and it's getting on your feet, and then you're carrying it over there and over there, and the dog has to work through that. It's not like, think of a pristine snow-filled pasture and one person walks through it. Well, then you put a herd of cattle in there. That's what the dog sees with its nose. So it has to work through that and then find the one track out of that. So it takes longer and it's more challenging. So they can do it, but it sets us up for more success of finding your animal if you back out and don't grid search.
Here's the best thing, advice I give you guys. I do not, and I got guys that call me, I just shot, what do I do? And I know some guys that have been bow hunting longer than me. And I'm like, you know what to do. I mean, wait a few hours and go in there and see if you can find it. The scenario that people should do is you take the shot. I always tell guys, wait a minimum of 2 hours. I don't care if you double lunged him. If you didn't see him go down, give him some time to expire. A live deer goes somewhere, a dead deer goes nowhere. All right? If you think you're a little bit farther back, hit him in the liver, let's wait 8 hours. Even farther back into the guts like this one, let's wait 24 hours. But you're on the bloodline, and all of a sudden you come to a spot and there's nothing. You don't know where to go. That is when you call me. Scott, we're on a line. We lost blood. We have no idea where to go. If we can get a dog in there, I want you guys to go back to camp and eat a sandwich.
And mark your hit site and your last blood
Don't go back
with flagging.
and drink a couple beers with your buddies and go, oh, we don't need a dog. And this happens. We can go find him and then go back out there and they, or they get him up.
Everywhere, yeah.
So if I think you can get a dog in there, just sit back and relax. If you can't get a dog in there, what guys do call me, and I know we can't get a dog in there, I'll try to walk them through as much as I can from home. I've had guys call me back 30 minutes and say, hey, he is exactly what we did. I had a guy last year, he said, we lost blood, we can't find it. I said, what's the bull been doing? He goes, he's been side hilling for the last mile. I said, did you look above you? No, they ain't gonna go uphill. I said, go look above you. They went up above him, where they lost the blood, hit blood, he is laying 50 yards above him. So they go uphill. That's an old wives' tale. They won't run uphill. BS. They always run uphill. The times we find they run downhill is usually on gut shots. They say they'll go to water.
How often do you come up on a dead animal with a bear or a cat on it?
2 or 3%.
It's got to be terrifying.
Our first year, we did a Joe Bradley. Anybody know Joe Bradley? God, come on, we're at the CBA banquet. Nobody knows who Joe Bradley is? He was Bowhunter of the Year last year. I did a track for him our first year, and he hit a really nice mule deer with his recurve, and tracked him all day and couldn't find him. I went out with him the next morning. I call him the Thanksgiving buck. I was like, dude, I got family coming over for Thanksgiving dinner. I have the morning, that's it. We went in there, we found that buck at about 9 o'clock in the morning, and when we crested that hill, a black bear was covering him up. The bears were still up, and that was on Thanksgiving morning. Bear took off. Andrew had one last year, and that bear just stayed off like 20, 30 yards and just you know how they claw jump, you know.
Well, he told me it was missing 2 quarters.
Oh, this bear that was covered up was missing a rear quarter. He had eaten it and then covered it up. He was going to come back later. So that can happen. I've never had a cat on a, and I've had Lyle says cats won't eat. If they didn't kill it themselves, they won't eat it.
Rarely, yeah. They have to be desperate.
Doesn't mean that he wasn't walking by wounded and he didn't finish him off for us.
Right?
So, any other questions?
This is awesome, Scott. Thank you.
I'm really glad you guys showed up.